This is going to be a review of the Chanel rectangular mini flap. Similar to my other videos, I'm going to be going over the main reasons I bought this bag and what I think about it today. So this was actually my first purchase at Chanel, and in keeping with that, I went a really boring, safe route and chose the black caviar with the light gold hardware. It's a pretty classic combination, and it's as close as you can get to the medium large flap without actually getting one. So I was definitely deciding between the square and the rectangular at the time, but what drove me ultimately to this one was the fact that it has that classic flap look to it. So that means that I can dress it up for more formal occasions more easily. I really like to actually wear it with the strap tucked all the way in or with just a little bit of it showing so that it has that formal look to it. But of course, it can be worn casually as well. I think where this bag really shines is the durability. So with the caviar leather, it's so carefree. It's really scratch resistant. I've been caught out in the rain with it, and it just wipes clean very easily. I've taken this on vacation. I don't worry about it too much in terms of on the go all day. It really lives up to that. The place where you probably can see more scratching happening is the CC turn lock, so especially that middle part that sticks out from the bag. So again, on the corners, really not too much wear and tear to be seen, especially after 3.5 years of use. The quilting all looks really nice and puffy still, so it looks fairly new. In my opinion. Even the top kind of grommets, the metal rings there, look really nice, even though that's where the straps kind of come in and out. One thing to note is that I have a little bit of stitching come loose in the top of the back pocket. Just a little short piece there. I also had a little bit of stitching come loose on the very bottom of the bag, but that happened within the 1 year mark, so I was able to take it back to Chanel and they repaired it for me free of charge. Another part of the bag where you might see a little bit of wear is on the sides, so you can see the creasing happening there. And I think that's because that's where the straps are stitched to the bag, and so that contact point there has a lot of tension. And so it's pretty reasonable, and I'm okay with that happening with the bag over time. Just another angle to kind of look at the corners. So although it doesn't have little metal feet, I think as long as you're not resting it on a lot of abrasive stuff, it should be fine. So I don't use a bag insert with this, given how small it is already. I just stuff it with tissue paper when I'm not using it and with the straps kind of tucked in. So again, the edges still look really nice and clean. There's no kind of visible glazing on this bag, which I think is a really nice feature. So it means that all the edges are basically rolled and stitched in. It's something that's very time consuming to do and more costly to do. One thing I would suggest when picking out these bags is to look at where these straps are stitched to the side of the bag, given that that is such an important contact point. So the inside of the bag is fairly simple. So this bag looks, I would say, deceptively small. It's by no means a tote bag, but you can still fit a good amount of items in there. So here I'm going to be putting in my wallet, my sunglasses case, It's just a little bit of Tetris to figure out what order to put things in. My car keys. I don't use the key protector there. Chapstick or lipstick. Just in the corner there. Maybe a concealer. So on a day-to-day, I probably wouldn't take that much with me, so I'd probably leave out that sunglasses case, but you can definitely fit quite a bit in the bag. Now, with it being that full, it is quite heavy, and I probably wouldn't suggest doing that long term because it will put strain on the bag. Now, one interesting comparison is between the medium large and the mini. I was surprised by how close they are in size. Obviously, the width of them is a bit different, but from the side here, you can see how they're really not too much difference. So the double flap really cuts into the capacity. It's definitely more comparable than I would have thought initially. Another interesting thing is the grain of the caviar. So the mini has a denser and smaller caviar versus the medium large with a bigger grain on it. One of the reasons I got this bag was actually that it's kind of the entry point into the Chanel classic flaps. So if we set aside the wallet on the chain and the square mini, this is the next most affordable option. It's still a bag that increases in price on almost an annual basis. Most recently, that has been the infamous COVID increase that they've put into place. But if we look back to 2014, I've tried to find all the US local pricing there. And what we end up observing is a 8% compound annual growth rate. So that's 8% every year if we look to the past 6 years of price history. And so it does give me a little bit of comfort to know that if I were to resell this bag, I can have a little bit more security in that. So if we take off like a 2% inflation, it's basically gone up 6% in real terms. Obviously, if I put that money in something else, it probably would have given me a better return. But for a handbag, I think that's not too bad. So overall, for the price, I do think you get a really good quality bag. Of course, that's an astronomical price we're paying, but it's a really well-made, well-thought-out design. It's clearly a design that has stood the test of time and just been adapted into a little small, cute version. Really durable and carefree option. Of the Chanel bags, I would highly recommend anyone looking to get one to explore this option.